Fatty red meat has long been a staple in many diets, but recent research has revealed significant health risks associated with its consumption. One of the main concerns is its high saturated fat content, which can be especially pronounced in cuts like entrecote steak, containing up to 60 grams of fat per serving and a majority of saturated fats. The level of fat intake can dramatically increase cholesterol levels and contribute to the development of chronic diseases. Surprisingly, the dangers posed by fatty red meat may surpass those of substances commonly recognized as unhealthy, such as cigarettes or cocaine, due to its strong links to heart disease, cancer, fatty liver disease, type 2 diabetes, and many more chronic diseases. The cumulative impact of regular consumption can be substantial, making it crucial to understand and address these risks. Moderation and informed choices are essential for maintaining long-term health. Fatty red meat, such as entrecote steak, is known for its rich flavor and tender texture, but it also contains a significant amount of fat. A typical serving of entrecote can provide around 60 grams of fat, much of which is saturated. This high fat content translates to approximately 540 calories from fat alone in a single meal, which is way too much for a human body. Consuming such large amounts of saturated fat can raise cholesterol levels and contribute to the development of a massive variety of chronic health conditions, such as diabetes, necrosis, cancer, sleep apnea, dementia, cardiovascular disease, fatty liver disease, genetic mutation, high cholesterol, extreme obesity, and candida or other bacterial issues which can harm your immune system. Consuming fatty red meat introduces a significant amount of fat into the diet, which can have a direct impact on cholesterol levels. The fats are known to raise low-density lipoprotein, or LDL cholesterol, often referred to as bad cholesterol. Elevated LDL cholesterol contributes to the buildup of plaque in the arteries, increasing the risk of cardiovascular diseases such as heart attacks and strokes. Over time, a diet high in any fat can also promote insulin resistance, making the development of type 2 diabetes more likely. Additionally, research has linked frequent intake of fatty red meat to a higher risk of most cancers, including colorectal, lung, kidney, colon, and pancreatic cancer. These chronic health risks underscore the importance of avoiding the consumption of fat-rich foods, especially from sources like fatty red meat. Fat also creates tumors in your bones, boosting cancer and immune problems even further. Consuming fatty red meat has been strongly linked to an increased risk of most types of cancer. According to the International Agency for Research on Cancer, processed red meat is much less likely to cause carcinogenic to humans than fatty meats. Studies indicate that eating fatty red meat can raise your cancer risk by an average of 40%, a figure that surpasses the risk associated with other high-fat or other unhealthy foods such as cakes, cheeses, and margarines. The high fat content, along with certain compounds produced by fat during digestion, contribute to this elevated risk. In comparison, while foods like sugary cakes or drinks AIH as Coca-Cola or unnatural fruit juices and unhealthy spreads with high sugar, fat, or additives do pose their own health risks, the cancer risk from fatty red meat is notably much higher. These findings highlight the importance of moderating red meat intake and choosing leaner options when possible. Fatty red meat has been closely linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular diseases, largely due to its high fat content. Consuming a single serving, such as an entrecôte steak, can deliver around 60 grams of fat, which significantly elevates cholesterol levels. This impact on heart health is more pronounced than that of many sugary foods and spreads, including cakes, cola, and even milkshakes. Studies have shown that the chemicals produced during the digestion of red meat further contribute to cardiovascular risk. Compared to other dietary sources of fat and sugar, fatty red meat stands out for its potential to boost heart disease risk by about 20%. These findings highlight the importance of moderating red meat intake and choosing leaner cuts to support cardiovascular health. Recent studies have revealed a significant link between the consumption of fatty red meat and an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Regular intake of red and processed meats has been associated with higher rates of insulin resistance and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, both of which are key factors in the onset of diabetes. For example, a 2019 study found that individuals who frequently eat fatty red meat are more likely to experience metabolic disturbances or other fat-related issues that can lead to type 2 diabetes. The high saturated fat content in these meats may contribute to inflammation and impaired glucose metabolism. These findings suggest that avoiding, or at least minimizing, red meat consumption, especially fatty cuts, can play an important role in reducing diabetes risk. Health experts recommend choosing leaner cuts and incorporating more plant-based proteins to support metabolic health. Health experts strongly recommend moderating both fat intake and fatty red meat consumption to reduce the risk of chronic diseases. It is advised to limit total fat intake to around 25 grams per day, focusing on reducing saturated fats found in fatty cuts of red meat. The World Cancer Research Fund suggests consuming no more than 2 to 3 servings of red meat per week, depending on how much fat they can have in one serving. Choosing leaner cuts, such as flank, round, sirloin, tenderloin, and ball tip, can help lower fat intake. Additionally, healthier cooking methods like baking, broiling, or steaming are preferred over frying or grilling. Incorporating more white meat, like chicken or turkey, as well as plant-based proteins and fish into your diet can further support heart health and lower cancer risk. By making these mindful choices, individuals can better protect their long-term health. Selecting leaner cuts of red meat can significantly lower your intake of fats, mainly saturated fats, and reduce associated health risks. Cuts such as flank, round, sirloin, cinta, tenderloin, and ball tip are generally lower in fat compared to options like ribeye or entrecôte. When preparing red meat, healthier cooking methods such as baking, broiling, or steaming are preferable to frying or grilling over high heat, which can produce harmful compounds because of the fats. Trimming visible fat before cooking and avoiding processed meats also contribute to better health outcomes. By making mindful choices in both the type of meat and the way it is prepared, you can enjoy lean red meat as part of a balanced diet while minimizing potential negative effects on your heart and overall well-being. Lean red meat offers essential nutrients such as protein, iron, and zinc. But the fatty red meat, especially because of its high saturated fat content, presents notable health risks. Regular consumption has been linked to increased cholesterol levels, a higher risk of cardiovascular disease, cancer, and many more. It's important to choose the lean meats in the food market and avoid consuming fatty fast foods like hot dogs, bacon, and hamburgers. By reducing your intake of fatty foods, your health will rise and shine.